Sander,
Amor,
my friend, just this, just
yes,
this.
saying just this and staring at each other, and you know, at the same time, the sun blinding this face. This is it. Lighting a cigarette, taking an inhalation, laughing. What a joy, right?
Yeah, and it's always a joy. It's always a joy being with you.
Yeah, I
So,
appreciate it. Thanks for saying. I saw a post today, and it was something. Tell me, it was something about Jesus, right? What was it?
yeah, I just a lot of times I speak in roundabout ways or sarcastic uh because it doesn't matter, you know,
Exactly.
if I wake up tomorrow and want to go to church, which I might, who knows.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't it's not any less of this than waking up tomorrow and joining a non-dual Zoom meeting.
Oh no, totally not. It's completely different and it's exactly this, you know? It's like what
Absolutely.
Mike is it's like French toast or cancer. It's something else, and at the same time a French toast is this and cancer is this.
So what's the French toast? The Christian church, and what's the cancer non-duality?
Oh no,
Is
I
that the
don't I don't even want to put it in that way because
oh,
it's more like, yes, waking up and wanting to go to church, and to devote your so-called life to Jesus is as much this as going to a meeting, or putting your finger in your nose and eating. I mean, it's just, yeah, what a beauty.
yeah? So I mean, it's so there's to say it's all just equally this, which may appear to be factual. Who who is it deciding that it is all just this? Like, there's a or better yet, who's deciding that Jesus is God? Who
Oh,
makes it? Yeah.
well, so I would say there's just deciding that this is this, or there's just saying that this is this, or that Jesus is the highest one. And I would say there's no one in this body saying it. There's no one separated saying it. There's just words. There's just a body producing the sound, and that this sound is understood like, well, this is it. But there's no one separate. There's no separated doer, in this body somewhere pushing out the words, or hidden in here somewhere where we don't see it, like something else. There's just claiming this to be this, and then there's maybe a liking of that claiming by so-called other characters, and or a certain resonating with the statement, or not, and it's equally just what is happening, or what people seem to believe is happening, or what is claimed to be happening, or what is thought to be happening. So I would say there's no separated decider if this is it or not. At the same time, there's just claiming or deciding that it all is just simply this.
Yeah, I've noticed that in more recent times, there's a lot of there appears to be a lot of pushback against the statements, already this and just this. And I
Yeah.
think, the pushback and the statements are just equally the shit show.
Yeah. Well, you know, Amor saying it's a shit show,
It's
or
just as
yeah,
those two.
you know, the pushbacks, the getting fed up, the not liking, the liking, the calling it heaven, the calling it hell. Yeah. What to say, Amor? I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's, I there was a point when there was a lot of videos coming out. I was okay, YouTube, and I was on every single meeting. Um, and I don't love you any less. But there's just not this. There doesn't arise this desire to you know to to indulge in it. And it's not that there's something wrong with it. I mean, it's all just equally the shit show.
yeah, the absence of this desire, you
Mm.
know, is just not there. So I would say the so-called desire, which seems to be there before, um, is has collapsed, but it
Mm.
doesn't have, this collapsing or this ending of this so-called desire. It has not ended for a separated you, which is apart or separated from the desire itself. So so this is the same with seeking. There seems to be the arising and the dissolving of all types of so-called things like liking and desires and needs and wants and interests. And then suddenly, this interest or the desire to join meetings or to hear more of these so-called statements may just simply stop slowly, or it can, one day maybe go with the dog and you think, what a bullshit. I have no interest, fuck this shit. What a shit show. And
Well, I think I've said too. I think you said that it's for one of your meetings. You opened up with, well, you may think that it's a shit show, or you may think that I'm full of shit. And I think
yeah,
I told you. I think I said you're full of shit, Sander.
yeah.
I don't truly believe this, but there's already nobody believing anything, anyways, right? I mean, that
Well,
I guess that could.
yeah. And
But
there's no issue with so I'm totally fine with the statement you are full of shit. I mean, for me, there's no difference, so to say, if you would say, well, Sander, you're full of shit, or you would say, Sander, I think you're genius, and I like it. Um, yeah, that's just what's happening. So great.
yeah, I feel this love arise for all humans, and to say there is already nobody separated. I mean, it's there may appear to be this person sitting here doing things with feelings and separate emotions, and it's it's already has appeared to have been seen that there is nobody separate.
Yes.
So it's not something that I made a um I apologize. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if you lost me. Uh, I it's sort of falling into this, like recently I was talking to Moshi and I told him, yeah, I had the urge to go to a mosque. So I went inside of the mosque and I prayed with the Muslims and it was beautiful. I went in there, they hugged me, I hugged them, and they were sweet. They gave me food. They welcomed me, and then the other day, I think I prayed for the first time like by myself in years. And I saw somebody, the other day, uh, our basketball team, our professional basketball team, the coach was praying the rosary, walking around the court. So I would like to learn how to pray the rosary. It's just like there may appear to be somebody here, and within that appearance, I'm gonna have fun with it,
Of
and
course.
so I'm gonna learn how to pray the rosary, and I'm gonna learn how to, and but it's not any less of it's all equally the shit show. So let's just shit show it up, so that's
Yeah,
what I'm doing.
just teach how to do the rosary. I mean, yeah, go for it, you know? I mean, so this interest again, to step into a mosque, and to sit there and feel welcome and stuff, it all just tumbles down, at some so-called moment there as well. Let me go into this. Let me go into this mosque, and then there's a liking or an appreciation, and maybe conversations, and feeling welcome, and feeling maybe even the love, and so what? That's it. I have friends who, I was into Shiva and all that, did many, hardcore practices, kriyas and all that, and many of my friends are still, they talk about Shiva, and I always say, well, you know, there is just Shiva, thinking thinking there is no Shiva is already just Shiva. Or we can say, well, there's just God, not liking God is God already. Not having an interest in God is equally just God. Or like the Muslims would say, it's all Allah, and having something against Allah is just Allah equally. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just simply what is. You can call it life, you can call it Shiva, you can call it Allah, you can call it Jesus, you can call it God. And but there's nothing separated from whatever is, there's just a directness of whatever is. You can call it the shit show. I mean, yeah, there's just the shit show. Calling it the shit show is equally just the shit show. Liking the shit show or not liking the word shit show is again just the shit show. It all is just simply the directness of what is. Liking to go to a mosque or having needs, and the so-called need, to learn to pray the rosary may just, maybe we talk in 10 years, so-called, and then, you're still the rosary is going on or not. Who knows? It doesn't matter. It's equally the shit show as you would call it, or it's equally just this.
Hmm.
So yeah, tell me.
Or 10 years from robbing that bank. Yeah, yeah. It's a beauty, Sander. It's sitting on a Zoom talking to a group of people about everything just being this, or going to a Catholic church and sitting in mass is just equally what is.
Yes.
And there's nothing to be gained, and if there appears to be something being gained, well, that's okay too, because that's also just what is. And it's just okay. It's just
Yeah.
okay no matter, you know?
I mean, when we're talking about gain, so there can be the knowledge gained how to pray the rosary, you know, but there's no one separated gaining that knowledge. At the same time, there's just simply gaining the so-called knowledge or the understanding how to pray the rosary.
But let me ask you this, Sander. So, and I'm not, this is not, that this is not me disagreeing with you. This is me saying, but who is it that is saying or that knows that there's already nobody doing anything or nobody behind it? It's just the thing happening. So I don't know if I put that into, I don't know if I worded that well for you, but who is it knows that there's just that this happening, but nobody doing it? Who is it that comes to that conclusion?
Well, so here I would say there's just a conclusion. So, and the conclusion that it's just this, or the conclusion there's just more, or the suggestion that there is just this, or there is something else, is already, it already doesn't need someone separated for this to be a conclusion or a suggestion. So we can say there's just a body sitting in front of a screen, claiming to know that it's just this. But there is just no separated something from the claiming. There's nothing, something in this body or something which is outside of what is happening, claiming this to be just this or claiming the knowing to be just this. So we can say there appears to be the knowing that it's just this, but it's not more or less than what it is already. It doesn't, and it's not an ultimate truth, you know. I mean, as far as it seems, we can say it is just what it is. It is just this. There's nothing beyond this. As far, who knows if there's something beyond this in an ultimate sense or in an absolute sense or not. So I was,
Well,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Even though it could easily be, the hole could easily be filled quick, or it could easily be appear to be answered. There still appears to be this teaching going on, and people seeking something. So the seeking, which is why I often bring up religions and other ways and dogmas, and and I feel like I'm starting to maybe sound a little bit closer to Michael Markham nowadays, but I talk, but not quite. Uh, it just feels like there's still a teaching there, and a somebody appearing to come to a conclusion, and it's just all meaningless. Um,
Yeah.
do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, totally. In that,
Right.
and if that is what is happening, so to say, I have nothing against it. If the assumption or the conclusion or the sense is arising, well, to me it's still just somebody who claims that he knows something. I'm not going to disagree because that is just simply what it is, and I have no issue with anyone thinking or believing that there's a guy teaching something. For me, it's totally okay. Whatever comes up, you can think it's bullshit, or you can think it's arrogance, or you may think it's somebody who knows something. Well, yeah, if that is what is arising, here there's no issue with that. It's okay. I'm not going to argue that. This is just how it plays out here, this interest and the talking, and it goes on and off. Sometimes there 2 weeks I didn't do a meeting because there was just simply no interest, and one meeting I said, well, I don't know what to say. I, there's not much interest, that's also just simply what it is. Here there's not seeking, I cannot say they're seeking for something, not that there was already a seeking intensively going on, but that's just, I mean, it isn't any better, seeking or not seeking, seeking for wealth or seeking for knowledge or seeking for God. It all is just simply what it is, and it may just simply stop when it's so-called found, or when there is no need anymore.
Hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
you need to go into a mosque. It can rise someday and it can drop the other day. It can linger on and it can just dissolve or collapse or whatever beautiful non-duality jargon term you want to use. I would say it would stop, and some speakers would say it will dissolve, collapse. It sounds so goddamn fancy when you say it will collapse. The interest may just simply collapse. For me, it's the same with the word resonate. There's nothing wrong with the word resonating, but there seems to be a lot of so-called fancy words being used, like resonating. For me, it's just it's liking an ice cream. You don't say I resonate with the ice cream. You just love the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
It's the same with a certain, it's the same with philosophy or a certain suggestion or a certain belief. There's a liking of it, and you can call it resonating or vibrating or whatever you want to. But in the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference.
Yes, I do. Yeah. You know, um, yeah, like there's the story of an Amor who, you um, followed Sadhguru and followed Muji and Ramana. And I don't know if you can hear my son outside screaming and yelling at the dogs. Sorry.
No problem.
Follow Ramana and non-duality, radical non-duality, just this. Um, and then there's just like this, you know, uh, you know, uh, you know, um, yeah, wordless
Yeah,
there. And
I
so
know what you mean. Yeah,
and now it's just like, okay, I'm gonna go and whatever the fuck I am, whatever the fuck this is gonna just go and love other humans and have fun with this and go and pray the rosary
yeah,
and fuck it. It's not that that's a teaching. It's not that I'm saying that that's the way. It's not that there's anybody to follow any way or to teach any way. It's
no,
just that to be, and I hate the word appears to, but when you're having these conversations, it's there's two ways you could have the conversation. I could say, well, there's somebody doing this, and there's somebody going, and I'm going and doing this, or I could say, well, there appears to be a me. I don't know what the fuck I am. It's just an appearance. Apparently, you keep using it, and either way you say it, it just sounds fucking ridiculous.
yeah, but it's okay.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
okay. What's the big deal? Even if it sounds ridiculous. Well, that's it. It's
Yes.
it's free to sound ridiculous. Is he doing okay?
Yeah, I hear screaming and yelling. Um,
Okay, listen good. So we don't want to have any issues there going on with the dog and your son. So if you want to listen a little bit as a father,
well, give me 1 minute.
no problem. Go ahead. I wait here. I'm not going anywhere.
You can entertain while I'm gone if you would please, or
Oh,
teach
I
some
just
Creek, you know.
All good?
So what was the conversation like while I was gone?
Well, I was there were two flies chasing each other as it looked like. So I was trying to follow them, you know, but I lost track. They were too quick. So it was
What
nice play of shadow on the wall. Also, the sun is shining on the wall, and then you have the flies, you know,
mm,
chasing each other. So yeah,
how fun.
yeah.
Maybe they could have some babies. You could have little maggots, and that you can watch next time, you know?
Yeah, we have a lot of flies. Everybody's complaining here. It's a little bit the time of the year. It's
Yes.
not directly that you have stuff in the house which smells bad, but I don't know. It seems to be like this in Sweden. Around this time, many flies will come when it's warm. And yeah, it's this, you know, it's so natural. And then, you know, some people seem to get all hyped up about flies, you know, they get crazy and, you know, they start spraying the house and, you know, buy all types of stuff. And well, here it's just, you know, I have no issue with flies, so to say. I like them flying around and doing the little fly things. For me, it's okay, you know.
Yeah, I have people a lot of people don't like when I come around for when it comes to bugs because I don't kill, I don't kill them. And if I see a spider on my ceiling, I leave him be. If I see a fly, I leave them be. If I see a bee, well, I don't want to get stung, so I try to get them out, but if I can't get them, I leave them be. And I was at a job that I worked years ago, and there was this guy I worked with, and there was a spider crawling across the floor, and he was trying to spray it with some chemicals, trying to whatever you're spraying it with, cleaner or something. And I jumped in the middle and sort of you know got in his way, and I think he thought I was joking at first, but I was pretty persistent. I didn't let him hurt the spider. I don't know. I mean, that's just what you know. Simply appears to arise. I just there's just love for everything. If I was this little spider, I just wouldn't want something coming and spraying me with some shit or crushing me. So yeah, I'm not a innocent little fly flying around. I let them go.
Yeah, I recognize I recognize some part of it because a couple of years, I don't know actually how long ago, it played out in a similar way, you know. There was this vegan diet here, and before I was hunting, and then suddenly, you know, no meat, no milk, nothing, and being very strict. And yeah, you know, this stopped, this eating only vegan, you know, restricting this kind of restricted sense of life, you know, which is just already just simply what it is. It's, you know, even calling it restriction is already just simply life. There's nothing really restricted about it. But yeah, you know, trying to avoid to here it goes on in the same manner, you know, trying not to kill bugs or whatever when it's not needed. And at the same time, you know, slamming the car door and, you know, trying to get the mosquitoes out while driving may just happen, you know, opening the window. And maybe in the process of opening the window while driving 80 miles an hour, some of those get killed. But yeah, you know, I have bees actually. You were talking about bees. Um,
Yeah.
so, you know, I like bees. You know, bees, I love them. You know, I can sit there for hours when I come home from work. Most of the time, I say to my wife, well, I go to the bees, you know, I can sit there and they fly in and out in the hive and they carry out the dead ones, you know, when the bees are dying in the hive, the other ones they clean them out, you know. So with a couple of bees, they carry the dead bees out and throw them outside the front door. It's quite amazing. I can, and I can sit there and enjoy the zooming and the buzzing. And until now, they didn't attack me. They're quite friendly. Even when I'm very close, I can sit like, this close from the entrance, and they just fly around my head and in and out. They don't seem to be bothered. Yeah, bees, I like them. It's
It's
nice.
beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, I will if I'm at my mother-in-law's house, there'll be like a moth. You guys have moths there?
Yeah, it's like a butterfly, but then more gray, and they look a little bit more how you dull, or how you say it, not so colorful, and
They leave like a dust on your fingers, their wings, yeah. But she'll be trying to kill it, she has a moth problem. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell her, listen, I'll get it outside. So I'll come with my little jar or whatever, and I'll try to trap it and bring it out. Don't get me wrong. Like if I had an infestation, I had fleas in my house from my cat years ago, and I was killing fleas. So I don't want it to get mixed up. Like I won't kill something, but it's a last resort.
yeah, and this is free to be whatever it is, killing or trying to avoid killing. It's already just this, there's totally no, this so-called need or want or wants to protect, and to carry and to not kill unnecessary. It's just, innocently, and this can fluctuate, from time to time. It can be very intense, hitting your neighbor in the face because he's killing a bee or something. Anything may happen. Being an activist, becoming, standing there for Greenpeace, and it has all types of variations. Being an activist, or this take all types of shapes and forms. That's the beauty. For me, it's all just simply okay. You kill, before there seems to be, a lot of there could be anger when people start killing, animals in hunting or stuff like that. This was also playing out here, and it just collapsed. It's not that I'm going to it's not that that there's a liking that people kill, but there's no, it's just what it is. And sometimes when it's unnecessary, I would maybe say something, why do you do it, or whatever, or not. It's hard to say. It can flip in the blink of an eye, all these things.
Yeah, when I grew up in a family of hunters, so we would hunt. I've killed a deer many years ago. Probably it was over 10 years ago easily or more. But I've killed the deer, I've killed turkey. And at a certain point I was hunting and I had my scope pointed at the deer, and the deer turned and looked, and I saw the eyes of the deer, and I couldn't do it. And I was with my uncle, and I couldn't get a good shot at him. And the deer was looking at me. I just felt love for the deer. I don't know what it was, and so he picked up his gun and just blew the deer's head off. I don't know. And it's just like you would say. It's just simply this. Either way, uh, it's just I don't know. It's just there's not much to say about it. You know, uh, maybe tomorrow I'll be in a certain mood and an ant will be on the floor and I'll crush it with my foot. I don't know.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe in 10 years you will be shooting deer again. I mean, some things seem more likely, some things seem less likely, but there's just simply no way of knowing as in an absolute way how this will play. The next moment you maybe get fed up with your ants infestation and you kill them all. You start spraying the hell out of them, or not, or it's just
Or who knows? Maybe I'll be doing Zoom meetings, praying the rosary, and maybe you'll join and you'll be praying the rosary with me. You never know.
No.
Right.
Yeah, and some things seem less likely, but yeah, I mean, who knows?
Yeah. So how's it going otherwise with your dogs? How are your dogs doing?
Yeah, we have one female. She's she's old and she's not going to have so much time left. I think in the coming weeks, I will take her away. And for now, it's okay. She's still happy. She eats, but she's sick. She
Do
has,
you assist them, like shoot them, or do you bring
yeah,
them to
I shoot the dogs. Yes.
Mm.
Um,
So it's usually a painless, quick death.
yes. Yeah, it's out of like the animal vets here. It's driving to the city. It's a 2 hour drive.
Mm.
Um, and the animal caretakers or the doctors are not open in the weekend, so then it's anyway a long drive to the city.
Mm.
So most of our dogs, they have never seen the animal vet. They lived a happy working dog life without any problems. um, they don't drive car and stuff like that. So when the time is there, taking them to an animal vet to get an injection, uh, putting them in a car, going somewhere where they have never been. Here
Mm.
it's just, for me, it's just more okay to, to end the suffering, quickly. Um,
That must be
well, it's actually quite beautiful. If I have to, if I, it's, it's a little bit of both. Of course, it's a loss because all the dogs has been born here as little puppies, and we have them in average, we have them about 12 to 15 years. I think the oldest one was almost 16. Um, but at the same time, during this period, you decide everything, when they eat, when they go out, when they play, when they work, where they sleep, so the whole so-called dog life, you are there, to control in a way, because that's how it is. You decide when you take your dog on a leash to go out, or when you let him run for free, when he gets his food. And then, so this little, you know for me, there's also a deciding, so to say, when it's time to go. um, and as far as it seems here, it's never, when that decision is made, because it's a heavy decision to make, of course. And I would say, for me, I am rather one day too early than an hour too late. um, and we have been having dogs for 25 years, and all the dogs born here, and I talk about 40 dogs at least. I think in that time, 25 years, we have given away two dogs to because they were not happy here, and so we gave them to families. But the rest of all the dogs, they are born here, and most of them will die here. So I shoot them when they are sick. And I don't mean when they have a day off, or when they don't eat. I mean, just to make it clear, um,
definitely.
when or otherwise they would die if someone didn't do anything, and then I burn them. I sit there and I watch them burn, and I sit there with my wife, and we 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 talk about all the good times we had, and the remembrance of the puppy, and you know how loved the dog is, and tears will flow, you know, tears will
How beautiful.
flow. It's hard,
I,
but it's also, you know, it's also, you know, it's that's how it is, you know. And then there's a wondering, well, some, you know, the so-called life cycle of the dog, you know, it also, it's in average, it's less shorter than this physical form, you know. They don't live, this, the dog body is not living 80 and 100 years, you know. And when you see these dogs getting born and dying, you know, the question will arise, when will this physical body, at one day this physical system will also just, it's over.
yeah,
They have teach me a lot.
yeah.
I'm very grateful that I, you know, in a way it was bhakti, you know, 25 years of 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 taking care of dogs and working. Just, you know, we don't have kids, so, you know, the wanting to take care of the dogs, you know, we moved from the Netherlands to Sweden basically to give the dogs a natural habitat where they can howl all night, and wake when they can run on snowy valleys and hills half of a year every year, because that is what they like to do, and that we could not provide in the Netherlands. So basically we changed our life for the dogs, you know, to give them. So nobody is complaining here when the dogs are howling like wolves the whole night. There's no one having an issue with them. They can just be dogs.
That is so beautiful, Sander. That is so beautiful. That's awesome. You almost brought a tear to my eye with that one. You know, that's a beautiful story. You know, that's awesome. That's awesome to get to experience that. To have so many dogs in such a natural environment. And I know when I got my dog, you inspired me to give my dog raw meat.
Yeah.
So I don't always do that because I just can't afford that. You know, this dog can eat, but I give him a lot of his dry dog food, and I give a lot of raw eggs. So I'll always crack every day. I give him a raw egg cracker on top of his food in the morning, and then I'll buy some like raw chicken or raw beef, and I'll just toss it down for him, and he'll just eat it up. And he's so vibrant. I feel like that raw meat diet for these dogs is like it brings something out of them that wouldn't come out otherwise. You know, that more wild instinct. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, I love having a dog. I don't know if I could have 20 dogs like you or whatever, but you know, one or two dogs is nice. You know, my wife, she has a Maltese, a little thing, tiny little dog. So seeing the two of them, you know, she's a princess. She won't eat a raw egg. She won't eat a raw piece of chicken because she likes to eat human food. You know, she likes to be pampered. She's like the queen.
Yeah.
And then my dog is more like a wolf. You know, my dog will just eat whatever. It wants to go out and get dirty and chase rodents around the yard or birds. You know, so I get the best of both worlds when it
Yeah.
comes to dogs.
Yeah, beautiful. I can see him jumping around after rodents and stuff. Yeah, it's so nice. It's, yeah, really, dogs. I mean, what a beauty, right?
Oh, they're the best, man. They are the best. They when you come home, you know, when I come home and my dog, he greets me at the door and his butt's wiggling and his tongue's hanging out and he's just so happy to see me. It's just so pure. You know, he's not waiting to yell at me for not doing the dishes the night before. He's not, he's not, he doesn't remember the night before when I yelled at him. He's not
Oh,
holding it against, not mad at me. He just wants to just love me. And
unconditional.
unconditional. I mean, you can cry in front of that dog. You can have a bad day, a good day. I mean, it doesn't matter. That dog's just gonna just be there by your side and love you. And it's just,
Yes.
there's just, I mean, I can't imagine living any part of my life without a dog.
No,
I,
I totally get it. I totally agree. And you know what you were saying, it reminds me when I was in the Netherlands, I was working with heroin addicts. People who were on the street and using heroin. And at one point, the 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 local government opened the house where the heroin addicts could live and use heroin. So it was a project in the Netherlands. If you were a heroin addict, you could use heroin in that place. You get a room, you can live there. People will take care of you and stuff. And I was taking one of my dogs, I was taking with me on my night shift. And it was such a beauty because the dog, it doesn't judge. It doesn't matter, you know, uh, whatever you do, if you use heroin or you have money, it doesn't care, it just want. And I saw also, the also the people who were using heroin and who were living on the street, they was they were used, they have got used to people calling them out, harsh words. You know how it can be. You're a bum, you're nothing, you're an addict. And, they just cracked up when the dog was coming to them. You could see, you know, that there was no judgment going on. It was such a beauty to see. I was always amazed, the relationship between the dog and the people, the addicts and the people outside. It was such a beauty. It's yeah, there's no words.
some countries, I know that they give like prisoners dogs. If they behave, you get a dog, and you just see like this. It could be a killer, but you see him with this dog, and you just see
Yeah,
this lightness with the dog. Like it brings something, some light out of him.
yeah,
But you had said something about watching your dogs die, and then the realization that this form is going to also die just as the dog did. And there's a gratefulness there. There's appearance of being grateful for that. And I found like 3 years ago, I unexpectedly found my grandfather dead, and he laying there on the floor, blue and just gone. And I told my wife, I think that night, I said, I'm grateful that he gave me that. You know, um, I didn't view it as a bad thing. It wasn't like, oh man, and I'm traumatized. I'm grateful. He gave me that. I got to see. I it's almost like you can't put words to it.
yeah,
But there was something that was powerful in finding him dead. And of course, it's all just appearances, but the intimacy of seeing somebody that was like my father that I loved so dearly, no more just this shell, just laying there, lifeless. It was a very powerful thing for me.
yeah.
Um,
It is.
so I understand. Yes, yeah, I understand what you were saying,
It's
but
yeah. It's powerful. You know, I this was coming up. When I was with, you know, Sadhguru and stuff like that. I remember a quote. Shiva used to say, whoever Shiva is, but so Shiva used to say, the only thing real happening is at the cremation grounds, you know,
yes,
at the Indian Ghats, people sitting there and watching bodies burn to ashes. There
yes,
is a certain thing, like finding your with that, when you can see it as well, this is it. That is it too.
yes.
There's a certain type of grace to ending.
Yeah, I read Satguru's book years ago. I still have it. It's called Death, and I don't know if you're referring
I
to
know
that
the
book.
book, yes.
Yeah, he talks about how when he was a kid, he would sit and watch the bodies burn, and the head would roll off down the the hill of wood, and he would pick the head up and put it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's all part of the shit show. Fucking enjoy it, you know. You
Yes,
know, it's,
you know, and what you know, so I would say this will end, you know. We can say this body will collapse, you know, this physical structure, this physical mental combination, this body mind combination will just collapse, but it will not stop for something separate, you know. This whole body didn't arise, you know, this didn't start for something which was separated from this already. So the ending of this, whatever this is, let's say life, life isn't ending for you as a separated you, you know, nor does it start for you already. It's just ending, you know, for no one, which is separated. At least that's it, how it is here, so to say.
yes, and the the belief that it is ending for a separate person, and that this person's going to go to heaven or go to some astral realm, whatever it may be, paradise for the Muslim. It's just as equally
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
as saying that there is nobody separate that this is happening to.
Totally. Yes. Yes.
It's all just noise. It's all just noise.
It's all words, suggestions, ideas, beliefs, dancing freely without a center. It doesn't matter. There's no difference, you know? And there's a liking or a resonating with one suggestion, and there's maybe an aversion against the other suggestion in terms of aversion against the idea or belief or suggestion that there is something beyond this. But in the essence, it's already equally just this, you know? Liking or resonating or believing one or the other is already just this. There's nothing, you know? That's it already.
As talking about our dogs is just like a beautiful violin playing, a beautiful violin tone, and talking about uh, nobody separate is the same beautiful violin tone, and just as saying that there is separate people, and you know, we're gonna go pray the rosary tomorrow. Uh, that's also that same beautiful violin tone,
Yeah.
and it's all just it's all just it's just beauty, pure beauty, all of it, and yeah, I like I said before, I find it very difficult to talk nowadays, and because I just don't. There's just, and then it's wordless, and I always there's always this feeling of wanting to say something, but the answer for me comes in not saying anything. It's just that wordlessness. That's it, and yeah, for somebody else it may appear to be words, but it's just that wordlessness. Like nothing else needs to be said.
No.
Yeah, but I absolutely love talking to you, Sander, and you're definitely a dear friend of mine, and I hope we can keep this friendship for forever if possible. If not, well then that's also just what is. But yeah, I thank you for making this time to talk to me, and yeah, I love talking to you.
Yeah, it's the same here. You know, I missed you when you know, suddenly there was no Amor anymore. I was, God damn, you know, where's the guy? Is everything okay? What's happening there? And you know, at the same time, there were these ideas popping up. Well, you know, this is it too. Maybe there's no interest anymore, and he just you know, out probably driving his truck and you know, walking his dog and maybe going to church, you know, whatever. This, I mean, it's, you know, and that's you know, this was just what was arising here, you know, and it's okay. But there was also this wondering from, shit, you know, where is the guy? Will he show up or will he not show up? And at the same time, there was also a totally being okay with whatever, you know, you not showing up or ideas, you know, filling in the gaps, so to say, what could happen or what was happening, so to say, with Amor. And yeah, I'm also honestly glad that we could do this conversation, because we tried to do this talk for I don't know how many months already, as it seems. And you know, the whole time it either I could not do it or I forgot it or you were busy driving truck and doing stuff.
You know, and you know, it's funny because if we would have had this conversation 2 months ago, a month ago, 2 weeks ago, or the conversation probably would have looked different at each
Oh yeah.
separate point, which is very interesting. You know, like it's just it's just what is. You know,
Yeah.
but it's a very different conversation at different points.
Yeah, if we look back, you know, if we now would play the conversation you, me, and Rosa had, you know, you in the park with the beautiful trees, you know, you remember the talk, one of the first talks I did
Well,
with,
you know, yeah, it's funny when we had that talk about robbing the bank.
yeah,
Uh, Yeah, I actually was, I hadn't slept in, I think, 24 hours. I was out driving the truck and, uh, I, yeah, uh, it was super hot too. I think it
yeah,
was like 100 degrees in Georgia. Um, but yeah, but that's the beauty of it, you know? Otherwise, wouldn't it be it would be boring. It's just, you know, however it may come, I accept it.
yeah,
However it may, and things come, things go. You know, I'm gonna go order me a rosary and learn how to pray the rosary, and then we'll do a meeting, and I'll stay here and pray the rosary with my fingers while we talk. You know, yeah, you know, who cares? Fuck
yeah.
it.
This is just playing freely, you know, talking and trying to you know, to do the rosary, whatever will come or not, you know.
Absolutely. Just love it. You know, just love it while it's here, or don't love it while it's here. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. You know, and
Yes,
it doesn't, or maybe it does, and fuck it, you know. That's when I say that words just start becoming a little bit too much.
yeah,
But nice talking to you, Sander, and we'll
great.
talk again. Talk again sometime soon, off the record.
We will do it. Go have fun with your son and your dog and enjoy your day. And thanks you very much for the talk. I loved it.
I love it too, Sander. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Talk to you soon, my friend. Take care.